as the hostage situation in Mali's capital has officially ended. And that's the news we just got 4 minutes ago. The possible connection to the Paris attacks is raising major alarms. France is the standout military power in West Africa fighting Islamic terror groups, and Mali's capital of Bamako is a logistics hub for French and American forces. Christopher Hill is a four-time ambassador who served in the most dangerous outposts of American diplomacy, most recently as U.S. ambassador to Iraq. You're also the author of the memoir Outpost, a diplomat at work, here in a Fox Business exclusive. Ambassador, is it as simple as the fact that France has been, with its military presence, and obviously it had colonized the region up until 1960, but they've been there? Is it as simple as that, or is this something we should look at as Islamic militant rising up everywhere?
Well, this is a broad Islamic militance, especially within the Sunni community. These are extreme Sunnis, ISIS, who have kind of had their battles with al-Qaeda, and clearly they're on the ascendancy. And so one issue about the French, of course, is the French have been a pretty tough partner in the war against ISIS in Syria and Iraq. So clearly there's some retribution against the French. But with respect to Mali, there's an element of spillover from the Libyan issue. You remember that never really came to a happy ending. Many of those Islamicists in Libya moved south, and that was going on last year. This year, however, it seems to have started again.
Well, is it a one-upsmanship case here? We know that this splinter group was part of al-Qaeda, or at least affiliated with al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda has lost the headlines to ISIS. It almost seems sickening in a way that they're jockeying to get more attention, but should we be looking at it as segments of these factions? You
know, there's definitely an element of it, but I think we need to understand that this is an example of radical Sunni Islam, and the rest of the Sunni states need to take a little more responsibility for this. Jordan has done things, the Saudis have not, and you know, a lot of these movements were spawned by this extremism in the Arab Peninsula, and I think the Saudis really need to step up and get more engaged in the battle against ISIS.
Well, sure, Jordan lost a pilot who was, it was horrific, burned alive by ISIS, and there were videos of this disgusting situation, but then Jordan backed away. But forget Jordan for a minute. Let's go to Saudi Arabia, and we ask this on the show all the time because Saudi Arabia is the second largest military in the world. Why are they not getting involved here?
Well, a lot of the ideology that has encouraged groups like ISIS and al-Qaeda has actually come from the Arab Peninsula, from this extreme concept of Sunni Islam. And so there's an organic relationship, but the Saudis have traditionally said, look, just not in our neighborhood, you can go elsewhere, just leave us alone. Well, that's clearly not enough. The Saudis certainly were a participant in the effort against ISIS, but now Saudi Arabia has clearly shifted themselves down to Yemen, where they're also worried about what's going on in Yemen, especially a Shia-supported group. So a lot of issues going on.
With the situation in Mali, some of the survivors are saying that they were asked what their religion was, and of course some of the people who were Muslim were being released. This is very reminiscent of what happened in 2013 in Kenya in the Westgate Mall, where survivors were saying that they were questioned by the militants, by the murderers, saying, okay, name Mohammed's mother. This really does come down to a hateful portion of this religion, does it not? That's how Americans are seeing it.
Well, there's no question this is an extreme version. I mean, most Muslims have nothing to do with this, but it's
But then where is that voice?
Yeah.
Where is that voice of most Muslims?
That is a fair question, and I think the Saudis in particular, where a lot of this stuff was spawned, they need to speak more clearly, and many other Sunni Arab states need to speak up and not just blame the Shia for somehow inciting these radical Sunnis. These Sunnis are incited by other things, and the Sunni states need to speak up.
Ambassador Christopher Hill, former ambassador to Iraq, thank you very much.
Thank you.